The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle, where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is where you transform your health, mind, business, and relationships. Or do nothing and keep your life the way it is. But if you're ready for change, you're in the right place. This is where you're gonna learn how to live a habit-based lifestyle. You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Ewing, and today we're going to be talking about resistance. So, as I was reading this morning, I came across this saying and just learning and reading and kind of discovering, which is something I do every single day, but something really spoke to me, and it was this: you are the closest to your goal when you face the greatest resistance. So I want to say that again. You are the closest to your goal when you face the greatest resistance. That means where you face resistance means that you are almost to the goal that you've set out to accomplish, to the goal you've set out to reach. It really means that you're almost there. And what I see in people today, now more than ever, is people give up too easily. They give up too easily on their goal. They give up too easily on their dream. They give up too easily on their vision. People give up too early. See, they say things like, I tried. Hey, I tried to, ask for this job. I tried to get this job. I tried to, get a raise. But they told me no. And we take no as us giving up. We take no as that door closing. See, no doesn't mean the door is closing. No doesn't mean that we're not going to get what we want. It means not yet. It means maybe we have a little more resistance to go through. It means no, not right now. But when I look at no, it means not yet. And if you think about kids, how often, do you say no to your kids? And instead of them giving up, instead of them, stopping, they ask you 5 to 7 different ways, and you continue to say no. And so to a kid, no really means not yet. But for some reason, to many adults, to many of the people that I come across and I work with, they think no really means no. So think about this. No really means not yet. But I want you to consider, where in your life have you quit too early? Have you stopped too soon? Have you given up too easily? And you took no as a no instead of no as not yet. See, I come from a gym industry of 20 years. I come from a results-driven program, results-driven teaching, results-driven coaching, transformational coaching. And the number one thing that I would always see is people would give up too early and they would give up too easily. When it came to their health and fitness, they would say things like, hey, I tried to work out, but my trainer just didn't hold me accountable. And so therefore I gave up too easily, or I tried to follow my diet. I did really well for 3 weeks, but I didn't see the results. I didn't see the results at 3 weeks. And so I just gave up and I stopped following it. And this is a lot of times how we look at our goals. We give up in the resistance. We give up when it gets hard. We give up when it gets difficult. But what we're really giving up is we're giving up the resistance. We're giving up the pressure. We're giving up the opportunity to work through something to get a result that we actually want. And what I always notice is what's on the other side of the resistance is the result that we actually want. What's on the other side of the resistance is the leap that we take. Resistance just means that we're really close to a goal. Imagine if you're climbing a mountain and you're trying to make it to the peak. Where is the most resistance? It's not at the bottom. It's not at the middle. It's at the top. When we almost reach the pinnacle, the peak, that is where the greatest resistance is. And imagine you, whether it's you picturing yourself following a nutrition plan and you've almost reached the peak of the mountain and you turn around because it's too difficult. Imagine yourself walking up this mountain and you're almost to the results you want, which is, making more money in your business. You're almost to the top, and right before you get to the top, you're faced with the greatest resistance. You're faced with the greatest amount of pressure. And instead of taking that one step forward, you retreat all the way back down, and then you got to start over. See, I've heard so many people talk about, hey, I tried marketing, but I didn't get any new clients, and so I stopped. I tried to put money into my marketing, but I didn't get any new clients. I don't have a certification, so I'm not qualified to coach. I don't have a funnel or a website, so there's no way for me to get clients. And I want you to know that these are all resistance. These are all things that we say that keep us from accomplishing our goal. And they keep us from accomplishing our goal because they are driven with the greatest amount of resistance. Think about this. If you want to be a coach, if you want to be a trainer, what often holds you back is the feeling qualified. Well, feeling qualified means that we are close because guess what? Many times in between that place of feeling qualified to being a coach, there lies a piece of paper. And if you need a piece of paper to feel qualified, if you need a piece of paper that says you're certified, then you're not qualified. And so you're putting the resistance in between the certification and the qualification instead of taking the leap forward to the experience. And so no matter how many certifications you have, no matter how many qualifications you have, if you don't have experience, you're always going to feel the resistance. No matter how much money you have, no matter your message, no matter any of those things, if you don't put money and constantly test your marketing, you're always going to feel the resistance. And here's what else I know. You have to get very clear on your marketing first. You have to test it and you have to practice it over and over and over and over to gain a new client. And it's going to take a while to figure that out. You don't just pay for marketing and all of a sudden you get clients. But here's what I do know. The resistance between your marketing and your messaging is what lies in new clients. The resistance between your marketing and messaging. And if your messaging's not right, it doesn't matter what you put behind it. You're not going to get new clients. The same is said to this. People think they need a funnel. They need a website to get clients. People think that they got to build a funnel and that all of a sudden people are going to come to your funnel and sign up as a client. That's not true. If you can't do it organically, you can build a funnel all day long. You can build a website all day long. And if you can't get a client organically, no funnel or website is going to help you. And so the resistance is the story that we tell ourselves that gets in the way of us getting what we actually want. The resistance comes in the story that we tell, whether it's a certification, qualification, or it's a funnel, a website, it's paid marketing or not paid marketing, no different than putting the resistance on the meal plan, putting the resistance on the workout, putting the resistance on the trainer. But here's what I know. The closest you are to your goal is when you're going to face the greatest resistance. So if you feel a great resistance, you know you're actually on the right path. You know you're actually on the right path, but you must be more determined than just giving up at face value. You must be more determined than just giving up when you meet resistance. Resistance is letting us know we're on the right path. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes. You got to be willing to do whatever it takes to achieve your goal. There was another powerful quote that I read this morning, and it was this: if you can't get in through the door, you must find an alternate route, which means if I can't get in through the front door, I got to go through the back door. I got to go through the side window. I got to go through the roof. I got to do whatever it takes to get into this. I got to be willing to go through an alternative route. And just because I can't get in through the front door, which is saying, no, you can't get in through this door, it's really saying, not yet. You can't get in through this door. Maybe there's an alternative route. Maybe you're going to have to break through a window. Maybe you're going to have to break through a back door. Maybe you're going to have to drill a hole or cut a hole in the roof. But it all requires you to have courage. Having courage requires you to be bold and to take a leap, even if you don't have it all figured out. Because here's the reality: the fastest way to figure something out is to fall forward into the resistance. This is where you feel the greatest resistance, is when you're moving forward. But the greatest resistance that you will ever feel is right before you take that leap. The greatest resistance you will ever face is right before you take that leap. Think about this. Imagine yourself, your foot's dangling over a cliff, and right before you take that leap, that is the greatest resistance you will ever face in your life. And it's right before you take that final step into that leap. And so I have a question for you today. Where in your life are you running from resistance? Is it in, your physical health? Is it in your purpose? Maybe, you keep coming to this place of resistance in your purpose and you keep retreating back the other way. Maybe it's in your marriage. The greatest resistance is maybe having a conversation with your spouse, or maybe it's in your business and it's in your marketing. Maybe it's inside of your, yourself telling you that, hey, I don't have what it takes to be a coach, or I'm not qualified to be a coach, whatever that is, or I'm not qualified to start a virtual business. But whatever that resistance is, realize that you are the closest to your goal. You are the closest to the result you want when you meet the most resistance. And meeting that resistance just means that you're on the right track. I want to thank you guys for being here today. I appreciate you being a listener. Would love to hear from you if you have any questions or anything that you want me to work on. If you want to be one of our next case studies and begin living this habit-based lifestyle, feel free to reach out to me, jesse@habitbasedlifestyle.com. Until next episode, have a great day.
The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse.